Hi, I'm Zach with Truck Fab Resource in the shop today to talk about winches. One of the most common questions we get asked when speccing out one of our Trash Cat roll-off hoists for a customer is, what's the difference between a hydraulic winch and an electric winch? Is it worth the extra cost? And what's the real world performance? So let's dig into some numbers and find out exactly what the differences are and which one might make sense for your situation. All these figures are pulled straight off the Warn data sheets as published by the manufacturer for each winch. So we've got two winches here, the Warn 15,000 pound electric and 15K hydraulic. Both of these at no line load start out at a 19 feet per minute line speed, our graph metric here on the left. Now that's about where the similarities start and stop for both of these winches. Looking at the electric winch, as we start adding load, even a 3,000 pound load, very quickly that line speed drops roughly in half to about 10 feet per minute. As we continue to add load, go from 3, 6, 9, 12 up to a 15,000 pound load on that winch, we continue to drop down to about a 5 feet per minute line speed. Pretty slow. Now the other metric to look at is duty cycle. Every electric device typically has a duty cycle tied to it for a given workload that's being applied to that device. So in the case of this winch, at zero load, we have a 25% duty cycle. As we jump up, again, even to a small load, quickly, that duty cycle drops down to 18% and continues to taper off to a 5% duty cycle at full load. Now, if we were to take this a step further and say, pulling up a 14-foot dumpster at 15,000 pounds and respecting that 5% duty cycle, which is what the manufacturer intends to really get the most life out of the equipment, you're looking at close to an hour to pull that dumpster up on the truck. Now, in the real world, does that happen? Absolutely not. We've got trash to haul, another job to get to, another dumpster, another stop to get to. But really, that's one of the things that leads to premature wear on these electric winches. Now, you can add a snatch block, which doubles your pulling power, but then also cuts your line speed in half. And so really, it's a trade-off. You get a little bit more life out of the winch, but it takes longer. And so really, at the end of the day, it's kind of a wash speed-wise. So as we turn our attention to the hydraulic version of this winch, you can see where this conversation is leading pretty easily. Again, we start out with a 19 feet per minute line speed, and we maintain that line speed 3, 6, 9, 15,000 pounds. We keep that same line speed regardless of load. Duty cycle, same thing. We've got a 100% duty cycle even at full load. So we can see here from even a brief look at the numbers that the hydraulic winch will pull a fully loaded 15,000 pound dumpster up onto the truck roughly twice as fast as its electric counterpart with even a 3,000 pound lightly loaded dumpster. Not only that, but it's designed to do it by the manufacturer. That's its intent. All day long, it'll do it. Now, that performance comes, of course, at a cost. So that's the other set of numbers we can look at is what's that performance price tag. The winches themselves are comparable in price. With a hydraulic winch, we'll need a line set and some control valves, which bumps up the price a little bit, but then we need a pump to power that. And we need 10 to 15 gallons a minute of flow at about 2,500 PSI, way more than you're gonna get out of an electric small pump that you typically see on a dump trailer. We're gonna need to power that with an engine-driven pump, typically a PTO system. We'll put a hydraulic pump on the power takeoff of the truck, and that'll provide our power. Typically that system costs between $4,000 and $6,000, maybe $6,500 for that PTO hydraulic system. But it comes with a performance that's really unmatched by anything else, and you're gonna see that savings back over the long term in not replacing your electric winch or winch motor. That being said, if you're looking to put together a budget rig, maybe an electric winch makes sense, especially if you're not hauling heavy loads all the time. An electric winch can get you many years at really a reduced cost, especially if you're looking at putting that rig on a used chassis. An electric winch can make a lot of sense in the right scenario. The Trash Cat roll-off hoist is designed and built for your success. Whether it's a basic electric system or a full-out hydraulic model, we have an option to meet your budget and performance needs. So if you're thinking about taking that next step, moving out of a trailer into a dedicated truck rig, pick up the phone or shoot us a message to get a roll-off truck to grow your business.